live in Brooklyn Park. Police want you to lock your doors and your windows as they search for an armed burglary suspect. They're following up on an incident reported out of the neighborhood on your screen. Police say that people came home to an armed man inside of their home on 73rd Avenue North and James Avenue North. After he ran off, police got reports of a man looking in windows and trying doors near Newton Avenue North and Meadowood Drive. They're asking anyone with any information to please call the police right away. St. Paul celebrity chef Justin Sutherland is back in jail after violating a no-contact order. St. Paul police say an officer recognized Sutherland at a Target and believed the woman he was with had a no-contact order against him. Patrol officers confirmed that was the case and found the two in another store where they arrested him. It comes just days after Sutherland pleaded guilty to charges that he pulled a gun and threatened to shoot his girlfriend last June. Well, we know even more today on the deadly multi-vehicle crash just off of 94 in Minneapolis. A St. Paul man is in custody for criminal vehicular homicide after causing that pileup. It happened around 9:30 Wednesday night. State Patrol says the man was speeding on the exit ramp of I-94 when he hit several vehicles on Lyndale Avenue. One person died and 8 others were injured. State Patrol says the driver was intoxicated and an empty alcohol bottle was found on the floor of the vehicle. According to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, since 2020, nearly 1/3 of all deadly crashes have been alcohol related.
It truly is heartbreaking because we see this happen again and again, and we are working towards, a vision of no more victims.
Well, the nonprofit Mothers Against Drunk Driving Minnesota is currently working with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration on regulations requiring new cars to come equipped with sensors stopping impaired drivers. The St. Paul Step Academy is now looking for a new superintendent as they fight to stay open. Here's what we've learned in the last 24 hours.
I'm Jessica Hart. Step Academy's Chief Operations Officer Paul Scanlon is clearing up some confusion surrounding the school board, superintendent, and the school's budget deficit. Scanlon says the new board started on Monday after an election several weeks ago. The superintendent also submitted his resignation. His last day will be November 4th. Scanlon also corrected an earlier statement made by the Academy's finance director, who said on Monday the school's deficit budget jumped to $2.1 million. He says they'll end the academic year negative $275,000, which is roughly 2.1% of their overall budget.
Fast food chains across the country are taking extra precautions following the E. coli outbreak likely tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. Here's how they're hoping to make you feel safer.
An E. coli outbreak tied to some McDonald's Quarter Pounders has other chains implementing new safeguards. Those businesses have not been linked to recently reported cases, but say they're acting out of an abundance of caution. Burger King says it's focused on onions. The FDA says slivered ones on some Quarter Pounders might have been contaminated, though it's still investigating. Burger King says 5% of its restaurants use one of the same onion suppliers as McDonald's and have thrown out the vegetables. That's even though Burger King gets its onions whole.
Onions are pretty safe anyway because of the skin that's on the onions.
The parent company of Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC says it's removing fresh onions from menus at some locations just to be safe. As for McDonald's, it says any contaminated products are likely out of the supply chain by now. The Quarter Pounder is off its menu at certain locations.
You can confidently go to McDonald's today.
The outbreak is linked to at least 1 death and 10 hospitalizations. An attorney for plaintiffs suing McDonald's over it says other people might have gotten sick and not reported it.
We're still going to see illnesses showing up that haven't fully gone through the testing process. So I expect this outbreak to at least double.
The FDA says it's not sure about the source of the outbreak. It says investigators also are looking at the Quarter Pounder beef patties tied to cases.
An update on that E. coli outbreak. Less than an hour ago, we learned 75 people are sick in 13 states. At least 22 of them have been hospitalized. You may soon have new options from Amtrak thanks to high demand from riders. Amtrak marking a big milestone for its Borealis train that travels from St. Paul to Chicago. In the last 24 hours, the route reached 100,000 passengers since starting in May. Amtrak officials say this is good news for future routes.
Hey, we've got a couple of weekend road closures on 494. The first one could slow you down if you're headed toward the airport or the Mall of America. So starting at 10 tonight, 494 eastbound, that's going to close between Highway 100 here in the Bloomington area all the way to Highway 77, which is near Richfield. That project won't wrap up until Monday morning around 5. So to detour, you can go northbound on Highway 100 and take east 62 and then southbound on Highway 77, and that should get you back to 494 east. And then the westbound lanes will close between Highway 77 near Richfield and 35W in the Bloomington area. You have to detour around that until Monday morning at 5, but that detour, as you see there, is 35W northbound to westbound 62 and then southbound 100. And then you'll be back on 494 west. If your plans are taking you toward, the Edina, Eden Prairie area, your commute could be slow. So give yourself plenty of time to hop on that detour.